As things stand today, the country as we know it is over. We are financially bankrupt. We are morally bankrupt. We are an apathetic group of people. We're ignorant. Many without any kind of work ethic at all. We don't even teach our children how to use any kind of critical thinking anymore. We're self-absorbed. We're greedy. We now live in a culture that is willing to take things that they didn't earn, have no right to, from others. We are dependent without any kind of compunction. We don't care. Most times we're unwilling to do the hard work today for future benefits tomorrow. We are absolutely willing to lie, cheat, and steal, or accept the lies and the cheats just for temporary comfort. When it comes to trying to beat what we're in right now, because there are enemies in our country that want to see us destroyed. They're out in the street today, en masse. How do you beat that? I made a list. Well, what do they have on their side? What do we have on our side? Well, first of all, we're outthought. We're outnumbered. We're outgunned. These people have planned for 30 years while we've been working, thinking everything was okay. They've been planning. We worked, and then when we weren't working, we just drifted. Who do they have on their side? Well, they have some of the greatest minds on the planet today. They have the college professors, not counting her, some of the greatest minds on the planet. They have been out recruiting the youth. They have all of the think tanks, or most of them. They're community organizers, and they are organized. When it comes to money, they have groups like the Tides Foundation, not to mention now corporate America. They have the banks in their pocket. They have corruption. I'll bet you they have much of the money coming from the drug cartels. They own the media. They have all of the labor unions, and they have spooky dude himself, George Soros. I made that list last night, and I thought to myself, geez, this is worse than we were trying to beat the English in 1776. Why is it worse? Because on our side, at least at that time, we had people who were morally prepared to stand, to understand, to live moral principles and stand up for correct principles. So now what do we have on our side? Whew. What do we have today? Let me tell you. Well, we have a very small group. There's just a few of us. And we've never been organized. There's more, but we've never really organized. And that group that we do have, well, we're not used to being activists. We've never been an activist. We've never made a sign before. And we've always been in the majority culture. We just recently came on this idea of, whoa, oppression. We have no history or claim on historic plights of civil rights. We are pretty much an unsympathetic cause, and we're being painted by the global elites as the major cause of the global problems. Our accepted defining culture is not popular. It's religious. It's generally white, and it's Lee Greenwood when we really get down. Those people who should be standing with us are either overwhelmed, afraid, or asleep and just unwilling to wake up. When it comes to money, they've got all the Tides Fund, they got everything. That. Our ability to raise funds is limited to two people. One, those who are already committed, and they're regular Americans, and they have limited funds, and they're given everything they got. It's you. And then we have the other people we try to raise funds from, the capitalists. But the capitalists, when you approach capitalists, they're looking for a return on their investment. They're not willing to risk or stand out. They're not convinced that they're going to lose everything. Our impact on culture is almost zero at this point. We don't have any influence in Hollywood. We don't have any influence, very little influence in the news media. Music? No, I don't think so. Popular art? Definitely not. The youth generally accepts that our point of view is old, outdated, and racist. And on top of all of this, we have been trained as a people to be politically correct and docile. And now, the worst part of it, we are growing in fear, in anger, and despair. That's not a good recipe. On the outside, looking in, we appear to be a small ragtag group with no power, no centralized organization, no real funds to speak of, no political party that's representing us, and no leader. Last night, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm like, we have zero chance of winning. Thank you for waking me up for this, God. I could do this on myself. I could do this my own. And then it hit me. This is exactly why we'll win. Do you really believe that we can win? If you really do your homework, like I do, and you see everything that's going on, you have to understand the odds against winning are overwhelming. After hearing everything I just told you, the answer should be no, we don't have a chance to win. Zero. So I sat there in my pajamas last night thinking, so why is it that we're going to win? I mean, I know divine providence, God, yada, yada. Can you give me something concrete? Yeah, here it is. The people on our side actually believe in something greater than ourselves. We believe in something eternal. Remember, why did I tell you that the socialists in the end will lose to the Muslims? Because the Muslims believe in something eternal. They believe in something bigger than themselves, and they'll die for it. Well, same with us, except we won't blow ourselves up. We believe in something eternal. We believe that we are on God's side. He's not on our side. We're on His if we're lucky. And we also know that God is not neutral in man's freedom. We were not born to be slaves. And we are willing to self-sacrifice for honor. We do believe that there are enough people still, it's fading, but there are enough people still who will choose good over evil. And most importantly, in the end, you cannot put self-evident things back into a bottle. We find these truths to be self-evident. You know, we take that statement right now for granted. Before the founders said that, wrote it down, nobody had ever said that before. Somebody was sitting around with all the founders and they're like, you know, we find these things to be self-evident that, you know, we have life and liberty and we should be able to own property. Yeah, that's pretty good. Write that down. Because I feel that way too. Don't you feel that way, Ben? Yeah, I do, George. That's what happened. We find these things to be self-evident. You don't see anybody writing an important document and going, we find this self-evident that if you plug an iron into the wall, it'll heat up. You don't say that because everybody knows that, and there's no reason to say it. They had to make the affirming statement. And now that they have made it, now that they wrote it down, now that we have over 200 years of experience that man can rule himself, he was created equal and endowed by a creator. You're never going to put that bottle, you're never going to put it back inside. You will never stay inside. I want to spend just a second here and go through the last line of the Declaration of Independence. With firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. I've been telling you this now for 2 years. This is going to play a role. We have to define this a little more. Can we open this up? We have to define this a little more contemporary, because this is like, oh, really? And the powdered wig guys are going to come. With firm reliance, what does it mean? It means without any doubt. What? Without any doubt, what? protection of divine providence. So without any doubt, we know that it will not be by chance. God will save us. We mutually pledge. What does that mean? We unite and we commit to standing together. We commit to be united. Our lives, our last breath. Our fortunes, our last dime. Our jobs, our career, our business. And it's not, I'll lose my job if need be. No, there is no if need be. We'll lose our last dime, our jobs, our business. That's the way it is. Why? Our sacred honor. Because it is right and it is just. This is why we win. Because without any doubt, I know it's not by chance that God will step in and save us. And I unite and commit to you right now, my dying breath, I will lose my job, I'll lose my career, I'll lose everything, I'll lose my life, because I know it's right and I know it's just. I told you the day we launched this network that GBTV was not just a network. It was a movement. GBTV is a verb. It is a movement to save our country, to save our souls, and to save our children's future. It was always meant to be a verb. I've asked you to be patient as we got things up and running, but last night was the turning point. Last night was the night that God woke me up and said, "Get off your butt." I'm like, I'm working as hard as I can. I think he just wanted me to tell you that we win. And in 2 weeks, it is time for me to put up or shut up. Because there isn't any time to waste. Occupy is all over the country. Our DOJ is out of control. Our president is appointing to positions of high responsibility the Muslim Brotherhood. The media is out of control. Today, Citigroup came out and said in 12 months, gold is going to be about $2,400 an ounce. Okay, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's true or not. But you know what life on planet Earth is like if gold is $2,500, $3,000 an ounce? Do you have any concept of what America looks like when gold is that high? Do you know what groceries cost us? It'll make Occupy Wall Street in New York City or Zuccotti Park look like a picnic. So I'm going to give you 4 steps, preview of what's coming in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do a full week of shows because there's 4 steps. So I'm going to do 4 shows in a row. First one is going to be about commit. Commit. We must unite and commit. I'm going to ask you in one episode on a Monday night to agree to a code of conduct and a plan. You may not understand the whole plan, but I hope that you would pray on it and feel if the Spirit says yes. We started this network to win. You're either in or you're out. I'm in. Tuesday, step 2, activate. This revolves around the election. We have to do all we can politically. And that sounds like a bunch of hogwash, but when you see what we have found, it's not. And it's a lot easier than you might think, but we have to do it. The third one is really going to get difficult. That one is live it. Live it. Our last breath, our last dime, our jobs, our business, because it is right and just. I will not go over the cliff with the rest of humanity. They will not change me. I will not become those things that I despise. And I get close to that every day. And the last show is Cultivate. This one you're going to like. But I'm going to need your help, and a lot of it, on all 4 of these. The last one is Cultivate Culture. All 4 of these things are going to require a commitment of self-discipline, self-reliance, and unconventional, uncomfortable at times action. I am going to ask you to leave your comfort zone in 2 weeks. You may not understand how all of this is going to come together. You won't be alone. But I want you to know this. Because of that, expect people to call you crazy, and maybe even more crazy than they already think you are. Society and the powerful will make you want to feel like I felt last night, standing there in my closet with my wife. Honey, we can't win. They'll want you to doubt. They'll want you to give up. But we ain't going to, because we know we win. And we win when we leave the natural man's anger and fear behind us. And the key word from John last night is joy. When we leave the fear and anger behind us and find joy in honor, courage, and love.